Today we're live in the kitchen with Chef Kevin Martin. We're making gluten-free friands with a secret ingredient, green touch avocado oil. And we're talking about the secrets behind personal branding with tips from amazing entrepreneurs and women in business, brought to you in association with Simply Beautiful and Fabulez-Vous. It's easy living with Monique Bradley. No, my heart, welcome to the show. Sorry about that quick technical glitch there. If we haven't met before, I'm Monique Bradley. Welcome to my place. Great to have you here. Good morning to Tracy Lee. Good morning to Kelly Downs. Good morning to Rachel Thompson. I can see you guys already watching the show. I have a fabulous guest in the kitchen this morning, and we go way back. We go way back. This is, and I'm going to call you a celebrity because I follow you on Facebook, celebrity chef Kevin Martin. Welcome to the kitchen.
Hi, Monique.
Hey, look, I'm really excited to have you here because I know a few weeks ago we were here and I said to you, Kev, I've got some great avocado oil. What can you do with avocado oil aside from making a stir fry?
Right, and the first thing I did was take the top off the bottle, pour some out of my finger and put it in my mouth.
Serious?
Yep.
Straight away, so you wanted to test the flavour?
Yep.
What were you looking for with avocado oil?
Just the freshness basically, and creaminess, so that ticked all the boxes, so yeah, no, I knew it was going to work. I've been using avocado oil for a while.
I was going to say, have you used it before? Because obviously your expertise, because I stalk you on Facebook as well as being my mate, I stalk what you do and you're all about baking.
Yep.
Apart from scallops, which you did last week with the avocado oil.
Well, baking's fun, so yeah, I can't decorate a cake without making a cake, so yeah.
That's true, that's true. So you've come up with a special recipe for everybody watching today, and it's a gluten-free recipe as well?
Yep, sure, we're going to be using this gluten-free flour here. It's got baking powder in there, a raising agent, so that'll give it a bit of puff, and ground almonds, icing sugar, egg whites, chocolate, avocado oil and vanilla. Now
with this gluten-free flour, like you said, it's got a raising agent in it. If somebody's got their own gluten-free flour that doesn't have a raising agent, do they just put in, say, some baking powder or something like that?
Yeah, so for this recipe, I'd probably put a half a teaspoon of baking powder in there. So yes, there's other different brands on the market, and some people choose to make their own gluten-free flour because they want to know what's in it.
Yes.
Or certainly want to know, have control over what goes into it. So this one has the baking powder in it, but if you don't, you can just add it into the recipe.
Excellent.
So,
is baking powder gluten-free?
Some of them aren't, so just check on the box and they'll clearly state if they're gluten-free or not.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's, we are live from the kitchen right now, so if you've got any questions at all, feel free to send them on through because we're loving having you here on the show. And also, we love to hear from you and see what you're cooking as well. At the same time, the great thing about using avocado oil, because you can use any oil in a recipe that requires
pretty much
oil?
Yeah, but the avocado oil's got the most flavour, I found. So yeah,
that's great. Now of course there's loads of health benefits which we're going to show you on a screen right now. There's heaps of health benefits for using avocado oil. So if you are maybe wanting to impress your friends and you want to have, that lovely bread and dip kind of thing, instead of using balsamic vinegar and an olive oil, try avocado oil because at the same time you're filling your body and your guests' bodies with loads of really healthy properties there. You've got, high in potassium, low in salt, tastes great, obviously, high in fibre, loads of omegas in avocado oil, and you'll check out there at the very bottom on that screen, it says it has a high smoke point. So if you are a fan of high heat cooking, this oil will stay stable. So perhaps if you're wanting to cook a steak on a really high heat or do higher heat baking, it's a good oil for that.
Absolutely, yes.
Excellent. All right, so Kev, let's launch into the recipe.
Alrighty, so we've got the recipe online, haven't we?
Yes. I've got it right here on the screen for you.
Perfect.
But at the same time, you can go to moniquebradley.co.nz. The recipe's on there for you. And also make sure you follow Kevin on Facebook because he makes the coolest cakes ever.
So we put this recipe together for you today because it's easy and I just wanted to take the scary out of it. Wanted to make sure everybody could do this at home. So I'm not even using an electric mixer, it's just a wooden spoon and a bowl.
Serious?
Yep.
Cool.
So I've got here 200 grams of ground almonds.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw those in. 300 grams of ground icing sugar, so that's confectioner's sugar.
Oh, yeah.
It goes in.
Nice and easy.
So that's the Bakels, will I say? Yep.
Yeah,
so
you can say the brand.
The Bakels gluten-free baking mix. So 60 grams of that just goes straight on the top. And that makes it sort of more cakey. So without that, the ground almonds just make it a little bit more crumbly, but you've got to put the baking mix in there to actually bring it back together and turn it into more of a cake. The baking or the raising agent there is just going to give it a bit of spring as well, so it won't be just solid. So I'm just going to Give that a wee mix together.
So this is a sort of recipe you might make if you want to impress your friends, because it looks pretty fancy. But at the same time, you know, it is the sort of thing you might do, say, for a high tea, if you want to host your own high tea.
It's the sort of things you can do with your kids as well, because it's so easy. So yeah, I mean, it's only got half a dozen ingredients in it. And like I said, we're just using a bowl and a spoon. So
wow. Okay, so budget-wise, how are we looking budget-wise?
Right, I did a quick costing on these. These are going to work out at about $2 each. So yeah, it's something that you probably pay in excess of sort of $7 or $6 for in a cafe. You can make them for $2 each. So we're just going to dress these up with a little bit of creme fraiche and some pomegranate seeds at the end. So
excellent. Yeah. So Kev's actually baking these in real time. So by the end of today's show, he will be decorating his friands. So do stick around for that, and you'll see get some decorating tips as well. So what are you doing there?
Right, I'm just breaking up all the lumps.
So you wouldn't use a sieve or anything?
No.
It's too big, isn't it?
It's fine. Yeah. It's just icing sugar. And I'm just going to throw my egg whites in here. Now there's 2 egg whites, or about number 6 egg whites. So I'm just going to throw those in.
Does it matter? Does it actually matter with the egg size?
Yeah, it does. So number 6 eggs are around about 50 to 55 grams. So it's really hard when someone says you need 200 mils of egg. It might be, so 6.5 egg whites. So yeah, so you've got to, it's a lot easier just to be able to crack them and know what you're actually putting into your recipe. 7s and 8s, they're a lot bigger. You get those little 5 size eggs, and they've only got like 20 mils of egg whites in it.
So if you're using a size 8, will it become too liquidy?
Yeah, absolutely. So all my recipes.
Liquidy. Did you hear that? How's that for a technical term?
I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So number 6s are the eggs I use. All my recipes are based on number 6s. So egg whites are in there now, and I'm just going to throw the oil in. And look how green that is. That
is beautiful. This is one of the things I noticed when I first started using avocado oil, is the colour is so intense and beautiful.
And it makes, so this is a blonde cake, so that everything that's going into it is white apart from the chopped up chocolate. So it's actually going to make the inside of my cake slightly go green as well.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, so it just makes them look good.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now with this recipe, if somebody doesn't want to make them gluten-free, can you make them with normal flour or self-raising flour?
Yep, normal self-raising flour will be fine.
Is it just you interchange the same amount of ingredient?
Yep.
Cool.
Like for like. Yep. Yeah. So that's in there now. I'm just going to add some real vanilla essence in there. So about 5 mils.
How did you know that was 5 mils? Because you've worked with it for such a long time? You just know.
Yeah, even if it's more, it's just going to be more delicious.
Okay, perfect. I like it.
All right, and that's pretty much the recipe. All I'm going to do now is I've got some Whittaker's 72% chocolate. I've just chopped that up. I'm going to throw that in.
Obviously, not only tasty, but health benefits with using 72%. Right. That's what you were thinking. And
wash it down with a glass of red wine.
Perfect. Excellent. What's the baking time with this recipe?
Okay, so my little loaves that I'm making, I've got a tin over here. So this is just a silicone tray that I use at home. You can buy smaller metal ones of this. These take about 27 minutes to 30 minutes to bake. If you're going to do cupcakes, they'll take anywhere sort of between 15 and 18 minutes. So yeah, just obviously the bigger they are, the longer they take to bake.
I have a question about silicone as well. Yep. What is there a benefit to using silicone over metal trays?
Yeah, they have a tendency of not sticking as much.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's where I come from on them. Also, if you, as a pastry chef, if you use silicone moulds for things like mousse and frozen desserts, you can just turn around and pop them straight out. Whereas if it was a rigid form, you sort of have to dip it in water, loosen it up, sort of tap it and try and get it out. So these just pop straight out.
That is so good. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's great. Because I thought, perhaps silicone, because it's quite thin compared to metal, might adjust the cooking time. Not really?
No, not really. It's actually, it insulates it more than anything. So it conducts just as well as metal.
Brilliant.
So there you go. So that's pretty much it. And all I'm going to do now is, I should have left that on the bench, just get some quick release spray. Oh. Now, they won't stick to the silicone.
Yes.
But just to be on the safe side and make life a lot easier, just so I can turn it upside down, they basically fall out. I'm just going to put some release spray on there.
Perfect. Hello, Lynette Hill, who's watching. I know that she has snuck out of work to come and watch the show, so I didn't say that publicly, but kia ora, Lynette. Great to see you on the stream.
And now I'm just going to split the mix evenly, as I possibly can with a wooden spoon. Use a piping bag, ice cream scoop, anything.
I was going to say, is there a, I've seen some chefs using something like an ice cream scoop to ensure you get the same amount of mixture into every container, especially if you're doing it for a cafe, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, just portion control's the way to go. Yeah,
So you mentioned to me before we went live today that you've worked with avocado oil for a while.
Yep.
I thought it was a relatively new to market product.
No, there's a lot of oils on the market. There's walnut oil, avocado oil, pistachio nut oil, hazelnut oil, and they all have their jobs, and we use a lot of those nut oils, especially in chocolates and things like that. But with avocado oil, we used to have a lodge, and one of the best items on the menu was our scallops that we used to pan fry in the avocado oil, and then we used to use the avocado oil and make a lime mayonnaise to put on the top, which I think that's what I shared the other day as well.
Yeah, Kev shared that. It's actually on the Monique Bradley Facebook page. I've shared that out as well. How does, with something like scallops don't really have a lot of flavour, do they?
It's subtle, yeah, but they're creamy as well, just like the avocado oil is. So, again, so if you've got nice fresh scallops, you probably just want to use the avocado oil in a mayonnaise, and it would complement the scallops. They're not always available all year round. Sometimes we have to use frozen scallops. They have a tendency of having a little bit less flavour. So yeah, you can just pep it up by putting a little bit of avocado oil, lemon zest, pan fry it like that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. An extra bonus tip in today's show. It's great. Oh, Lynette's just said, oops, I've snuck off for a cup of tea to watch the fabulous show. Thanks, Lynette. Good to see you on the stream. Oh, and I can see Romina Macedra Lily is watching today as well. Hola, chica, ¿cómo estás? Nice to see you on the stream. Awesome. Well, that's looking good. And look, that was really easy. You did really that in like, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, and I was able to talk while I was doing it, which
I know,
is
I'm so proud of you.
multitasking.
Yeah, how's that? Guy multitasking. I don't believe in that gender stuff because I know some women who can't multitask, like me. Excellent. So what heat in the oven?
So normally around about 170 in a conventional oven. We've got a fan oven, so it's going to be 150. We're going to put those in for around about 27 minutes and check them.
There's a picture of the Freehan set that you actually made earlier in the week or last week.
Test drove them and took a photo so you had something to put on the screen.
I know, so pretty. So that is right on the front page of my website, top left-hand corner, I believe. So you can download that, try this recipe out in the weekend. And here's the thing, if you make it, send us a picture of your creation because I guess everybody's going to decorate theirs differently, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, we're going to put a creme fraiche and some pomegranate seeds on the top, but fresh raspberries, mascarpone cream, all that sort of stuff. Beautiful.
Yes, this is the best job in the world. So yeah, try the recipe for yourself, and at the end of the show, Kev's going to decorate them up and give you some styling tips on how you want to impress your friends on Instagram as well. How does that sound?
Great for high teas.
Excellent, excellent. So in the meantime, I've got a very special friend to introduce you to. But if you want to find out more about Green Touch avocado oil, by the way, here's the information for you. It is actually not available in retail stores, so you can find it on this website, guidetobettershopping.com. Great price point, and they also do gift packs and gift boxes. So it is a really nice gift, perhaps for somebody moving into a home or, the housewarming kind of gift. Yeah, it's really nice, or a corporate gift even. So head to guidetobettershopping.com and take a look there. And like I said, I'm going to introduce you to some of our friends, but if you want your products or your brands to feature on the show, if you want to be a guest, hit me up at info@yourfix.tv. This is a friend you need to know. This is the lovely Lynette Hill from My Remedy, and she's got a little bit of wisdom to share about how to have a more fabulous life. Let's go, Lynette.
Hi, I'm Lynette Hill. I'm a naturopath and I'm an advocate of natural medicine. But what makes me me is I have a lot of love in my heart. I have a lot of love for fun. I have a lot of love for my family and my friends. And the thing that really set me free to just enjoy who I am is acknowledging myself and listening to those little voices in my head that were really good ideas and saying, hey, that is a good idea. I'm going to believe in that and I'm going to act on that. It took me probably till my mid-40s to really let go of what I thought people wanted me to be and to be who I wanted to be. And the moment I stopped worrying about how I looked and how I appeared and what other people thought and made their stuff more important than my stuff was the moment that I was truly free to live a really healthy, happy, free life. And that's something that I try and bring into my daily life and into my practice where I work. You know, who are you? What matters to you? No, don't listen to all the peripheral stuff. Go with you, and when you acknowledge that and you give that some love and some attention, it's amazing how freeing that is.
Well, there you go, Lynette. I love you. I think you're amazing, and thanks for sharing your wisdom. It was great to see some comments come in from the feed. Ramina saying, go Lynette. Rachel Thompson said, what's so funny? I believe we had a bit of a sound glitch in the beginning. No worries. We are having a great time here in the studio. And Lynette also just said, great gift idea with the avocado oil. Well, you know, obviously there's so many health benefits to it. So it's kind of a thoughtful, healthful gift at the same time. So there you go. Now, today's mid-segment in the middle of the show, I always like to find a topic which I think is hopefully going to add a little bit more value to your life, drawing on the wisdom of other people that I've personally connected with or learnt things that I would love to share with you. Now, over the last few weeks, we've had a heap of people in the studio all talking about the topic of personal branding. What does personal branding actually mean? So I thought, let's talk about how to build a personal brand. Now let's talk about what personal branding actually is. How do people remember you? Are you that heart that walks around on legs? Are you the life and soul of the party? That is a personal brand. Now, according to Nielsen consumer surveys, 33% of buyers trust messages from a brand, while 90% trust messages from an individual they know. So that means if you are a business owner like me, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a mumpreneur working from home, it's more likely that people are going to buy a product, brand, or service directly from you than messages about the product or brand going out into the marketplace. So I wanted to bring this back to personal branding and my professional training. So I did a degree in theatre and film, and I did a postgraduate diploma at TVNZ in Wellington. So really, everything for me is about storytelling. When it comes to being an actor, you develop characters that have to be believable, and that breeds trust and credibility with an audience. And I approach credibility with personal branding in the same way, with the same theories. So for example, you know that person who goes, no, of course I'm fine. That does not breed trust and credibility. So for me, that is off-brand for somebody, whoever I'm talking to. Personal branding really comes from knowing your value. It comes from knowing what you stand for, what you believe in, what you trust. And what is it that when you leave a room that people remember about you? Do you want to be known as the life and soul of the party, as I mentioned, or do you want to be remembered for being that person who gives the most amazing service from a place of love, from a place of heart? That really is about authenticity and branding, and personal branding is about that authentic story and about how people can connect with you in a really easy way. And that, my friends, is going to sell your business, your brand, or your product far greater than putting pictures all over Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. So let's delve into why it works. And I've done a whole lot of research around this. First, remember, personal branding is about being authentic, because a facade does not breed trust. It leaves people feeling uneasy. The great thing about it too is that when your personal brand is attractive, customers, clients, vendors, press, and even companies look to hire or will find you and reach out to you. And I have to say, look, I don't really advertise much. People come and find me now. So that's where opportunity finds you. It helps with your online networking as well. So when you've got a really compelling personal brand, people find you more interesting and they want to work with you. So I get approached all the time through my online platforms just as much as people in real life who want to connect with me and hopefully work with me as well. In-person networking, I walk into meetings now and people go, Monique and Pete, because you know we're part of the Pete and Monique Friday show as well. Pete and Monique, you guys are everywhere. Well, in-person networking works because my online networking has worked too, and I have a really strong personal brand about what I stand for and what I believe in. Also, of course, it helps you build your business. So I still have clients and connections from when I was working in a bank a long time ago, when I owned my own performing arts school. Some of my students are now clients, people who have followed me when I've been a professional singer and actor, and they still follow me now. And the cool thing is those clients are now repeat clients. It helps you get hired. 84% of hiring managers use social media to hire. So how strong is your own personal brand? Are you sharing content perhaps that is off-brand? 96% of people looking to hire people into a business use LinkedIn, and 53% use Twitter. So it does help, but make sure you've got the right story going out there. It helps you make new friends. So I have to give a shout out to all of our friends who follow the show over in India. Raja, if you're watching, and Raja's brother, Raja, great to see you guys watching on this show. Also to our friends in America, Ali Coolidge, great to see you. And, you know, how did we meet? Yes, we may have met in real life or online, but it's a great way to look after those relationships. The cool thing is too, you end up with serendipitous success. So I've turned up to places and had people say, oh, you're Monique Bradley. You do this and this and this. I've been watching you. Hey, this is great timing because I wanted to work with you. Boom, boom, boom. And finally, a good strong brand helps you with your confidence. So developing your personal brand requires you to find your authentic voice. And that's what I really love about it. It helps you understand yourself a bit more. And the great thing is, don't we all want to show the best parts of ourselves to the world? Now, I'm a really involved member in several women's business networking groups. One of them is called the Venus Network. You can find them on Facebook and online, of course, on their website. And I have made the most amazing connections through the Venus Network. And I wanted to introduce you to some of my friends who this week have shared with me some tips on their own personal branding and what's actually worked for them in their business as well as their personal lives. So let's take a look. This is gorgeous Caroline Sandford. Now, Caroline is an expert in careers, and what I loved that she shared here is that we already all have a personal brand, deliberate or not, and I loved that. And really, for her, personal branding is about who you are, what you present, and ensuring that your message is consistent. Look, check out her website if you're going through transition as well. She's an amazing lady that also helps you find your authentic voice in your career. This is Efson, and Efson is with the Morris Trap Group. Now, Efson was always known by her friends to be somebody who was an incredible listener, and her personal brand she's been developing is just about that. She's there to sit and listen to your story and help troubleshoot. So hopefully if something goes on in your life, she can actually preempt that and make sure that she has you covered in case of financial burden. But that comes from her brand, which is about listening. This is Deanna. Now, Deanna is an interior designer and she specializes in staging homes, particularly if you're looking at selling your home. For her, she allows her work to speak volumes. So there are more photos of the installations she's done into homes than of her own physical features and her own photos of herself. And for her, it's about keeping that constant high level of quality, and that speaks for her. For Lynette, who you've already met in today's show, her whole brand and her whole philosophy of life is really based around the tree of life. And if you take a look at that description there, you know, everything to do with our body is based around this theory, and this resonates into her work as a naturopath. What I loved is it's about being authentic with her. So it's about living her branding and her marketing according to the story of that tree. And I love at the bottom, in the middle of our tree is a heart that presents my love for our profession, our patients, and each other. I mean, instantly, I just want to go, oh, that's so good. That's lovely. That's beautiful. Mandy Crawford, who is an osteopath and massage therapist, she wanted to establish her niche in the market by being the most qualified of any person in her industry. And that's really what helps define her personal brand. She's a high achiever and a go-getter. Congrats to you, Mandy. Romina Lilly, she's our resident makeup artist, beauty therapist, and she takes people to Argentina for plastic surgery and personal transformation. She's all about beauty. She believes in identifying the natural beauty in each person and really help create that on the outside. She is a beautiful woman, not just physically, but her nature is beautiful. And really, that is all about her own personal brand and harnessing the power of her personality. This is Katie English, who also works in financial freedom and insurance as well. And for her, personal branding talks about performance to the power of 3. And for her, that's knowledge, experience, honesty, and empathy, which is part of that performance. And that 3 there, it's me, my client, and the chosen insurer. So for her, it's about having a solid relationship. And that is really what she does when she works with you. Joe Robertson, who's a life coach, I am my brand. It's about being authentic and telling the true story, walking the talk, acting with integrity. Love it, Joe. Love it. This is gorgeous Rachel Thompson, who featured in our show last week. For her, it's living what you represent, being consistent in your message. And her testimonials speak for herself. So if you Google her, you'll see a whole bunch of testimonials that really deliver more about her branding than she even has to do. And of course, my mate Oprah Winfrey says it beautifully. Each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint. That really, for me, sums up what personal said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. I love it. So I've got a task for you this week. Personal branding. What makes you unique? How would your friends, family, or co-workers describe you and the face that you present to them? Brainstorm and write your ideas down. Now, I've just seen a couple of messages come through in the feed today. Excellent. Let's just take a look. Oh, Ramina, thank you. She said, thank you for your lovely words, Monique. Ramina, you are a beautiful soul. Thanks for being part of today's show. Rachel Thompson said, awesome words from all these gorgeous girls inside and out. I totally agree. My philosophy with this show was it's not about me, it's about you guys. And it's really about sharing the wisdom that each of you has that I know everyone else needs to know as well. Ramina's just said, go Rachel. Good morning, Ali Cook, who's just joined the show. Great to have you watching. And Lynette Hill's just said, thanks for the encouragement, Monique. Well, Lynette, you are more than welcome. Now, we are about to head back into the kitchen to see what Chef Kevin Martin has been up to. Next week's topic is a big one. And if you've got something you'd like to contribute, look, send me a message because I'd love to showcase you on the show. Next week's topic is about aligning personality with purpose. So sit down and have a cup of tea this week. And really write down all those things about your personality, which you know are great assets. And this has nothing to do with ego. This is all about celebrating you. And then have a think about what your purpose may be, because next week we're going to join them together and create you a mission statement that kicks ass, literally. And finally, I've got something to show you. We've had a whole bunch of guests in over the last couple of weeks. Also from My Remedy, we had Amy Lynn, who is a nutritionist and a naturopath, come into, well, she's a nutritional expert, so she's actually a chef as well. And she came into the studio last week and she made kefir and coconut yogurt right in the studio. While she was here, I said, Amy, you've been around the world. I want to sing that song, right? Been around the world, but I can't because of copyright issues. But she was here and she's worked around the world as a chef, specializing in raw and very healthy recipes, vegan, vegetarian. And while she was sitting on the couch, I said, you beautiful creature, can you share with me some tips of wisdom on how to change your life or live a happier life? And this is what she had to say.
Hi, my name is Amy Lynn. I am a naturopath at My Remedy. I've got 5 important tips for you to get through life. First of all, have fun as much as you can and laugh at yourself as much as you can, so that's probably 2. Eat your fermented foods, put your feet in the grass, and love every part of your life and live it to the fullest.
We are back in the kitchen already. Caught me off guard there a little bit. Kev, oh my goodness, what have you got going on? Right. These are your friends.
Yeah, so the magic of television, always wanted to say it.
There you go, here's one we prepared earlier.
Minutes, so I pre-made these, because even if I had made them and baked them, they still had time to cool to put the creme fraiche on the top. Yes. So we knocked these ones out and we've just dusted them with a little bit of icing sugar.
Now, I have to say, I've heard that icing sugar is the magical ingredient if you have a disaster as well, right? So if you've got a crack in your cheesecake, cover it up.
Yep.
I worked with Annabelle White at the food show for a number of years, and she said even if you've got boring guests, just sprinkle them with icing sugar at a dinner party and they'll even look more attractive. So there you go.
I think one thing we always say with cakes is every cake has a back.
A what?
A back. So the bit that normally is broken always
goes to the back.
And yeah, so every cake has a back. So I think it's
Chef secrets.
Yeah, well.
That's hilarious. Okay, so they've come out. How long do they take to cool, do you reckon?
So on a wire rack, these would have probably taken about half an hour to 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not long. The beauty of these as well is normally freehand are made with butter, melted butter. So you pour it in, and then when they set, they firm up because butter solidifies.
Oh, of course, it solidifies.
So with the beauty of the oil is it's always going to stay sort of gooey and sort of unctuous. Now,
we like that.
Have a tendency of crisping on the top. So you'll have a crispy top and you'll have a gooey sort of centre. So
we like that, much like myself. Crispy on the top and gooey centre. That's weird.
And in a box, probably in a container, airtight container, you'd probably sort of get 5 days out of them.
Are you for real?
Yes, and they'll stay nice and soft as well.
So, question, I know I've made a really dense kind of a chocolatey cake, which was almost like a mud cake. I used an oil for it. I know you mentioned earlier to me that oil's not necessarily great for a mud cake.
No, absolutely.
It's all right?
Yeah, what I was saying was something as subtle and buttery as an avocado oil, I probably wouldn't put in it because the cocoa would probably overpower it. You wouldn't get the benefit
gotcha.
of it, yeah.
So this cake I made, I'm going to say it got moister. It got more moist with the oil. Is this going to happen with this recipe? So if you leave them a couple of days, will they become more moist?
Yeah, cakes actually mature. I mean, some cakes you leave for 24 hours just so they develop the flavours and stuff as well.
For real?
I've got a bran muffin recipe that has finely diced apple in it, and on the third day, not even the second day, but on the third day, they're a lot more moist than they are on the first day. So yeah, those they're great. It's a really awesome. I should.
Yeah, I think that would be great. If you guys want to know that recipe as well, just send me some hearts or some thumbs through in the news feed and we'll get Kev to come in and demo them as well. Sweet. Sounds like a great idea. Just checking the news feed. Carly Coolidge from America. She just said, first of all, fermented foods. Yes, that's what I did on the health show last week. I will send you a link, Carly, so you can have a look. Great for the gut. And she's also just said, is icing sugar powdered sugar? Because she's in America.
Confectionery sugar, powdered sugar, and ground almonds is almond meal where you're from. So,
excellent. So, Carly, I know you've only just come into the broadcast in the last few minutes. There is a recipe for these on moniquebradley.co.nz. It's right on the front page. These are gluten-free friands?
Yeah, or friand styles. I mean, friand's traditionally made with butter, but we've taken the butter out and put our avocado oil in. Excellent.
There you go. Cool. So, this is the pretty bit.
Yep, absolutely. So I've got some pomegranate seeds here, and I've got some little edible flowers, 100% edible, and I've also got some creme fraiche. Now, if you don't want to use creme fraiche, because some people find it a little bit acidic, it works really well with this because they're quite creamy. You can use some whipped fresh cream or some mascarpone.
Yum!
So what I'm going to do is just going to take a teaspoon. Which camera are we on? Are we on this one?
We're on that one, that camera. They'll be able to see.
My little Miss Sunshine cup. I'm just going to take a teaspoon. Now, this is boiling water. I boiled it while you were chatting before.
Excellent.
And all I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape along like that and get a perfect little quenelle.
How did you do that?
Now you can do that with ice cream, you can do it with white chocolate mousse, you can do it with all sorts of things, but you've got to get your angle of your teaspoon right. So if I was just to put it like that.
I was going to say, do you do it, is it how you hold your tongue?
Yeah, no,
how you hold your mouth?
That's how you hold your teaspoon.
Excellent.
And I'm just going to put that on.
Is beautiful.
So you don't need a piping bag, you don't need to be able to do fancy things, and you can take this.
I'm pleased to hear that actually, because to be honest, I'm a bit of a numpty when it comes to using a piping bag. Is there any special technique, or is it just practice?
It's just practice. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But this should just sit nicely.
Can you make your own creme fraiche?
You can.
But why would you, I suppose?
Well, this is a nice firm one. This one's perfect for quenelling straight out the fridge, so yeah.
Why did they call it a quenelle?
I don't know.
Is it just the shape of it?
Must be. You can do them with 2 spoons as well and get like a 3-sided or a 4-sided quenelle.
Wow.
Perhaps that's where the name came from.
Oh, yeah, because I'm thinking Quinn as well. That is really cool. Oh, hello, Jane Wan, who's joined today's show. Lovely to have you watching the stream as well. That is amazing. So that looks pretty, but it really,
it's not hard,
you've just done it pretty easily. And I suppose, I mean, you've worked in catering and cafes and restaurants as well?
Absolutely, yep.
So I suppose you're used to whipping them out pretty quickly. So again, it's just Practice.
Yep, and the bigger the spoon, obviously, the bigger the quenelle. So if you were to make a white chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate mousse, just 3 quenelles of that on a plate can look pretty stunning as well. So
fancy. That's so good.
Just going to put some of these pomegranate seeds on the top.
So pretty.
Now, I don't know if you've had pomegranates before. You enjoy them?
No, I've never had pomegranates before. I've never eaten a pomegranate seed because I didn't actually think. I know that people use them, but I didn't think. I thought seeds. Why would you eat seeds? I know pumpkin seeds and things like that. Is it kind of crunchy or is it?
It's sort of kind of crunchy. Lots of texture. Lots of. The flavour is mild, but it's definitely there, and it's quite floral. So with something like this, that's again quite delicate. Pomegranates. Yeah,
I'm going to try some actually. Now, question about pomegranates. If when they're in season, so they're not often in season, right? When they're in season, could you get the pomegranate seeds out yourself and do it?
Oh, absolutely. You just cut them in half.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can. There's lots of things on YouTube on how to best sort of take the seeds out of your pomegranates, but
they're amazing.
Beautiful in the salad. Yep.
It's kind of like a little grape.
Yep. Juicy.
Kind of pops in your mouth. It's very cool. Kevin, that just looks beautiful.
Not hard, is it?
No. So any particular flowers, if people have got flowers in the garden, just...
if you're in doubt, Google them, because some flowers are poisonous. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I just like rocking into a shop and grabbing edible flowers, because I know I don't have to sort of research what I'm putting on. But there's lots of information again online. Father's Day's coming up. So these will make a good sort of father... Like I said, you can do it with the kids, so the kids can do this with you, and you can... For Dad.
Oh, that's so cool, Kev. Other topping suggestions? So if they don't have flowers, what else could they put on there? And no pomegranates?
Okay, again, I'm going to put another brand name out there. So are you familiar with Fresh Airs?
Yes, Fresh Airs. They do the freeze-dried...
powders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so the freeze-dried raspberries and the freeze-dried plums are just awesome on something like this as well. So lots of texture, some really deep reds, colours and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, I love using those powders. So again, they put a lot of colour onto something 100% naturally. So rather than putting food colouring in a cream or something like that to add a bit of pink or something, you can just use the Fresh Air powders and
beautiful. So you can do that same sort of topping on other cakes. And
Absolutely.
That looks really stunning, and it's just so simple, Kev. Well done. High five to you, my friend.
Cheers.
Really good job. And look, if you want that recipe, if you want to try it, again, go to moniquebradley.co.nz. And one of the things I would encourage you to do is, in fact, to follow Kev on Facebook. What's your Facebook page?
So Facebook is Kevin Martin Cake Designer.
Excellent. And on there you also do some videos with a modelling chocolate as well. Right,
we've got a company called Chocolate, and we make our own modelling chocolate. We distribute throughout New Zealand and Australia at the moment, and basically it's just a different medium for covering cakes. If you think of fondant as Play-Doh, modelling chocolate is like plasticine. So it's got some different sort of characteristics for doing different jobs, or certainly attacking cake decorating.
Excellent. So, and so is it a good alternative for people who perhaps don't like that?
If you don't like that sugary flavour and you like the flavour of chocolate, that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, well, I've got a winner here, and I think I probably need to try it, Kev. Thank you. Just to do some sampling. Well, that's the end of today's show. I do want to say a big shout out to everybody who's been part of the show. Thanks to all my lovely ladies who have contributed their wisdom to the show. Kevin, thank you. You're a freaking legend. I love working with you in the kitchen. It's great, and we hope to have you back again. And also, if you want to be part of the show, there's details here on the screen, so you can take a look. And if you've got a great product, or perhaps you want to talk about your business and share some of the great work you're doing maybe in the community, hit me up at info@yourfix.tv, and I'd love to work with you. Oh, cousin Carly has just messaged from America and said, looks so fancy. Nice job, Kev. Now also, if you get a chance, please say thanks to our sponsors, which are the team at Kathy Organics. A big shout out to Romina from Argentina, Fabuleux Vu for my gorgeous jewellery, Simply Beautiful for my lovely top today, and Evelyn Rose Lashes, who make my peepers look pretty. It is time for us to go, so thanks everyone for watching. We've already done that screen. We'll hit the next one. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Pop in, sit down, have a cup of tea, join me in the kitchen, or let's talk about life. 11 a.m. every Wednesday. It's time for Easy Living with Monique Bradley. Time to go and eat some of these delicious friends. See you next time.